Hello, my name is Bernie, and I will be doing my presentation on Sikhism. So, a brief overview of Sikhism is that it is one of the largest religions in the world, believe it or not. It has over 25 million current members in the world, and over 700,000 of them happen to be in America and Canada. Sikhs cover their uncut hair with a turban, and 99% of Americans with a turban just so happen to be Sikh. Sikhism is its own distinct religion as well. It's not an off-branch of Hinduism or Islam or anything like that. It is its own religion. Sikhism in America. So to the right here, we see a map of America with some population demographics of Sikhism. We can see a lot on the East Coast, and we can see quite a bit on the West Coast as well, in those more population-heavy, really dense areas. So Sikhs have been in America for over 100 years. They first arrived in 1897. In 1906, they built their first house of worship, also known as a gurdwara. In English, we would just call that a temple. They saw a lot of persecution after the events of 9/11 as well in America, again, because of the turbans that they wear. People didn't understand what their religion was, and they assumed that they were a part of some of the terrorists that attacked our nation. That was one big, impactful moment for them in America. So the history. So Sikhism was founded around 500 years ago by Guru Nanak Dev Ji. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but that's his name there. You can see him in the image to the right and on the bottom right of the slide. There were 9 gurus that followed him, and in Sikhism, they believe that they all inhabited or were inhabited by the same spirit. After the 10th and final guru died, the spirit transferred to their sacred text, scripture, also known as the Guru Granth Sahib. In the top right image, we can see Guru Nanak Dev Ji along with his other gurus that followed him. So Guru Nanak taught his followers about his message of love. So he preached to people around him about a universal God who was common to all mankind. And he taught the message of this God, which was love, serving one another, being faithful to God, being faithful to one another. So some more historical facts about Sikhism is that when India fought for its independence from the British, over 2/3 of Indians were sentenced to life imprisonment or death were Sikh, which is kind of crazy amount because they only make up 2% of India's population. The creed of Sikhism. So Sikhism means a learner. They are a learner of the meaning of life in a way. That is what they're taught throughout their whole life. They are monotheistic with a universal God. They don't have multiple gods, it is just one. They believe in equality of all men and women. Men and women are equal. That is one of the biggest hallmarks of their religion is their equality. And we'll talk more about that later as well. Faith teaches many human principles. Freedom, equality, justice, kind of the things that a democracy is built on. That is what they teach. They call for us to look beyond our differences and work together towards peace. They want us all, again, to be equal, work together. They want peace. Life is not a fall from grace, which is another big thing. In our lives, we have the ability to find divinity in each of ourselves, which is a stark contrast from religions like Christianity, where we aren't holy, Jesus is holy, but we are still part of his creation. So the 10 principal beliefs, this is going to be a 2-slide kind of a thing, so bear with me. So the 10 principles, we'll start with worship one God, treat everyone equally, live by 3 principles, which is to make an honest living, share what you make with others, and be in service of others, always be in a state of meditation or prayer, or in a way, have God on your mind. This is a very, very big thing for them. These 3 principles are held very, very high. And in the top right, we can see them in one of the temples, which again we'll talk about later, handing out food, which again, this is for anyone and everyone to come and eat if they need it. This is their service for other people. More of the principles is to avoid sins of your ego, like pride, lust, greed, anger, and attachment. Baptism is another big one of their principal beliefs, a code of honor. wearing their 5 articles of faith, which is another very big thing for them. They wear a Sikh undergarment to keep them clean and pure, a wooden comb they wear in their hair to keep it straight and not messy, a steel bracelet to represent the God and his infinite existence in a way. They never cut their hair, as it's a gift from God. And they carry a small sword, not the ones you see in the image here, um, but they're much smaller, about 3 inches or so. Follow your commandments, the 4 of them, which would be don't cut your hair, don't put anything toxic in your body, which would be alcohol, things like tobacco, marijuana, recreational drugs, stuff like that. You're not supposed to put in your body. Um, you're not supposed to eat sacrificial meat, um, and you're not supposed to sacrifice animals either. And another big one is don't commit adultery. They also recite their 5 daily prayers every day, and take part in fellowship or their masses. The afterlife. So they do not believe in an afterlife in a sense. There's really no heaven or hell, but they do believe in the reincarnation of the spirit or soul. So good souls would be reincarnated in a good way, bad souls not so much. There's some controversy with how they think they're reincarnated. Some people say that it's the final thought that you have. So if you're thinking about houses and that monetary value of a house, when you die, you're going to be reincarnated as a ghost over and over again. Or if you're thinking about money, maybe you're reincarnated as a snake or something of that sort. Um, there's also these other thoughts where ego-centered souls go to the underground, which is Narak, which is just torment. Pure souls, with remembrance of God, go to Sachkhand. This kind of breaks their cycle of reincarnation, and they become um, a being of light, and they just exist eternally in that way. So, women and caste systems. So, they believe in full equality. Women follow the same rules and conduct as men. Again, one thing they don't have to do is cover their hair, but more and more we're seeing that a lot of them are taking part in that. Women can attend every service, event, etc. Again, it's all about equality. And one example that helps kind of support this is their God is gender neutral. They don't believe in father or a mother, it is God. They also reject caste and classes, so everyone is equal and shouldn't, have dominance over another person. We are all in servant of one another. We're all here to make each other better and one people. And with this, they don't discriminate other people based on religion, race, anything like that. We are all one. So some rites and festivals that um, they have 4 rites, which is birth and the naming ceremony. They have Anand Karaj, which is marriage, which you can see in the top right. We see Amrit Sanskar, which is their most important rite, and the funeral ceremony, which you see at the bottom right. There's also 8 major festivals, 4 of which commemorate important events in the lives of the gurus. We also see the installation of the Guru Granth Sahib, which again is their holy text. The New Year festival of Baisakhi. Again, don't know if I'm saying that right. Diwali, and then Hola Moholla organization. So there is no overarching church for the Sikhs. Priests can be anyone from the faith if they are baptized. There is a World Sikh Council, which they don't do much besides become a point of contact for other people, to be like a resource for donations and just being there for other people. Again, they all follow the same holy text. Um, so the worships may look different, but again, principle of each mass session can be the same. In worship, so they're held at a temple, also known as the Gurdwara. Um, So the sacred text Guru Granth Sahib always must be there for the mass to take place. Hymns are sung, people bow down to the holy text as well. The Kara Prasad is eaten at the end of the worship, which is the bottom right. Um, there's no assigned seats. Again, everyone is equal, so no one has, say in where they need to sit. And you must remove your shoes and cover your head when you enter, as a sign of respect for God. And here are my works cited. Thanks for listening.